Those three words can either be frustrating or joyous. This happens to be the joyful time for me. She didn't find it that amusing. I was about to head home and had the dreaded conversation. What do you want to eat? For those who don't know how that conversation goes, here is the abridged version. Me, what do you want to eat? Wife, I don't know. You pick something. Me, how about insert food here? Wife, nah, doesn't sound good. Me, how about insert other food? Wife, that doesn't sound good either. Repeat this for as many times as it takes. Finally decided on panda. And after figuring out that she was going to just eat half of whatever I got, I was finally able to head home. Once home, she was bundled up in bed with the heater on. I asked if she wanted her food on a plate or in a bowl, and she said the magical words whatever is fine. So I went to the kitchen and found the biggest bowl we have. It's a giant metal bowl used for mixing. I put her food inside the bowl and headed off to give it to her. Man, was she not amused. I on the other hand couldn't stop laughing for a couple of minutes. Every time I tried to stop, I would just look at her expression and laugh more. I had to take it back and put her food inside a regular bowl, one that you use for cereal. And I had a giant bowl to wash afterwards, but it was worth it. Story from my friend, who is waitress at a local restaurant. She had served an older couple their food, and the woman asked for pepper. No problem. My friend grabs the mill and grinds some on. After a few seconds, the normal amount of pepper is on her food and my friend leaves to attend to other guests. When she circles back around to the older couple's table, the woman rounds on my friend and spits. My friend was very disgusted by the saliva flying out of this woman's mouth. She joked about getting tested for rabies, that wasn't nearly enough pepper, and she demanded my friend keep going until she was instructed otherwise. As my friend recounts, it was almost the end of her shift, and her manager would have her back when it came to guest disputes, so she shrugged, grabbed the pepper grinder again, and began anew. As she did, the woman literally turned her back to my friend and rummaged in her purse. My friend kept grinding the pepper, all while this woman knocked her purse around the floor until she ran out. Excuse me ma'am, this one appears to be empty. I'll run back and grab a new one. It was several minutes before the woman turned back around to discover a pile of pepper on her plate. The woman did an excellent impression of a fish before simply standing up and leaving. The man she was with simply paid the bill, leaving an excellent tip, collected her purse, and followed her out. My friend hasn't heard anything from review websites, social media, etc. Obligatory. This happened a while back, but as the cold weather sets back in, I thought of this sub whilst regaling the story to my new boss. I shall set the scene. The UK has just been hit by the beast from the east at the start of 2018. As per usual, when there is the slightest bit of adverse weather in the UK, the rail system is up the wall, and trying to travel to the station, let alone actually commute into London, is proving difficult. I work in it, on a service desk, and therefore basically take phone calls, remote onto people's machines, and then go to their desk if absolutely necessary. Our service desk split these tasks so that someone is on desk side whilst the rest are on calls, and if your call escalates to the need for a desk side visit, you pass it over. I spoke with my line manager ahead of the impending storm to say that the areas some of our team lived, including myself, were due to get hit hard, and therefore it may be prudent to test our home setups in case we needed to provide support from home. This was a worst case scenario. The beast from the east hit, and the weather worsened, and the snow hit the fan. Monday morning, I wake up to a wall of white, and call my manager to say that I will struggle to make it to the station, let alone the office. A quick check of the rail website reveals cancellations and delays galore. Manager says not a problem, she has had some other calls of the same nature, and has asked that I get logged in remotely to handle calls and resolve issues remotely where possible. Some of our team live in central London and have managed to make it into the office, so they will handle desk side visits. This same setup continues on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. It works well. The people at home answer the phone calls and take care of what they can whilst passing anything they can't to the people in the office to do local visits. There aren't a huge amount of people in the office due to the weather conditions anyway. Over the Tuesday-Wednesday I hear rumblings that the head of it, my manager's manager, is unhappy with the fact that some of the service desk are getting to work from home, and I have been keeping an eye on the weather and the train situation and neither has improved a great deal. Thursday morning, there has been no extra snow overnight, and my train company declares that they can run some extra services, but they will still be limited, and they will be slow trains, so delays are expected. However, the road conditions to get to my local station are still abysmal. So I call my manager again and say trains are getting there, but the roads are still rubbish. Happy for me to man the phones from home again today, and she is fine with that, as expected. I head downstairs and get logged in nice and early and start helping out. I know that my manager is doing me a favor by not forcing me to come in, and so I'm happy to do her a favor and help out where and when I can. Then, at around 9 AM, I get a call from my manager stating that you need to come into work. Now, head of it has decided that if he can make it into the office, so can everyone else. If you can't, you need to take today as holiday. Cue malicious compliance. A couple of my colleagues who live real far out say that they cannot make it into work, so they take holiday. I don't really fancy using my holiday because the head of it is being unreasonable, so I say that I will head in. I tell my manager that I don't know how long it will take me, and she says that's fine, I'll see you when you get here. So I sign out of my computer and I get myself booted and wrapped up and head out into the cold 9:15 AM. I haven't prepared my car at all this week, so it is covered in snow and has been sitting cold. So I start clearing the windshield and the sides and then make a start on the roof. Need to make sure the car is clear of snow before setting off to be safe for myself and others. Once all the snow is clear, I start her up and let her idle for a little while. Don't want to cause damage to my car setting off from cold, and this allows the inside to get warm and the windscreen to clear off fully. 9:45 AM, I set off for the station. The roads are, as presumed, terrible. I can't drive at anywhere normal speed, and considering it is now 10 AM, the roads are busier than when I leave for work normally. My normal 15-minute drive turns into an hour, and I can't even make it to my normal parking area as the roads are even worse there than where I started. 11 AM, I abandon the car and start walking. It's slippery, even in heavy-duty boots. So I take my time. No point injuring myself trying to get to work. As I get closer to my station, the pathways clear up as they have gritted. Thankfully 11:30, I get to the station. This is normally a 20-25 minute journey. The trains are buggered. All reports that I had seen about them being back to relative normality is bullcrap. There are lots of people milling around waiting for a train, and a quick chat with the station staff reveals the last one came in an hour ago and there isn't another one in sight at the moment. I knew this moment was coming, so I find a seat, pull out my thermos, and get to waiting. A train finally arrives at 1 PM. Set to head into London. Normally a 45-minute journey. The poor soul driving the train apologizes for the delays and warns us that despite stopping at less stations, we are still in for a journey. I won't bore you with the particulars, but when he said we were in for a long one, considering the weather, I thought he did quite well. We got to our station in London for 3:30 PM. Luckily for me, my office was just round the corner from the station, so I rocked up at 3:45 PM. I got settled in and logged in, said hello to my colleagues and manager, and then had a look at the time. Would you look at that? It's 4 PM. I started at 8 AM, so I finish at 4 PM. So I logged out, said bye to my colleagues and my manager, and started the trip home. To answer some questions that I'm sure will come out of this, my manager was chill. She knew my personality and knew exactly what I was going to do, and I knew she would have my back. My colleagues found it hilarious. The head of it was less than impressed. He had a meeting with my manager that day and she basically told him to stuff it as the service desk was hers to manage, and we all went back to WFH on the Friday and some days the next week till the weather cleared up. My colleagues who took holiday got their holiday days back. Thanks to my manager, I got home at about 10 PM that night because everyone trying to leave London was a nightmare. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, a like and a comment would mean a lot in YouTube's world. Share with us if you would have done things differently, and don't forget to support the original authors with an upvote. Links are in the description. Peace out, and catch you tomorrow.